Hi, I'm Megan. I'm a graduate of journalism and professional writing, and now I'm working on my biology degree.
Hi, I'm Bianca. Today is National Blue Day for the support of child abuse awareness. And when I was growing up, I was personally affected by child abuse. Me and my twin, we were growing up, we were mentally abused. And this has made me timid in meeting new people. It affected me in many ways. And my view on child abuse is something like children really don't know how to come out with it because they're too shy to go to anyone and tell anyone.
Okay, growing up, I didn't have the best support system. I was mentally and physically abused, and my family didn't really stick up for me, and I tried not dwelling on it, and I played soccer since I was 3 years old, and I played it consistently throughout the year, and that gave me like a positive thing to focus on instead of just focusing on the negative and not really understanding what I was doing wrong. So it got me thinking about other kids that might not have the same sport to focus on, that might be going through the same situation, and stuff like dance, gymnastics, cheerleading, they're really expensive. And soccer has relatively cheap equipment, it's cheap to play, and cheap to sustain equipment for. So I've wanted to do this so other people can have something that they could be passionate about, so they would have positive experiences and overcome their abuse.
There are 6 million documented cases each year for child abuse, and so many are unreported because children don't come out and saying it. Every 10 seconds there is a reported case of child abuse, and that can range from emotional, physical, mental, even medical, and even neglect from parents or whoever does it to them. And 80% of survivors tend to lean towards the life of crime, doing drugs, and even being abusers themselves. And for females, unplanned pregnancy can happen at a young age.
Our project, Kicking Out Child Abuse, is a one-day soccer tournament to empower survivors, prevent child abuse, raise awareness, and educate the community. We're working with No Longer Silenced Movement, which is an organization to empower survivors, and I'm the director of social media management for that organization. And we're also working with Blowing the Whistle on Child Abuse, which is an organization through Child Health, and it's focusing on athletics. But that organization, they don't really have an athletic event just for child abuse. It would be like if you ran a marathon, you could run under that name. So we want an event to solely focus on child abuse prevention. So that's the main point of what we're gonna do. And we're gonna fundraise throughout the entire year by doing micro events like bake sales or talking to schools or even going to other soccer organizations. And we already have the means to have a soccer tournament because we have Lowell Youth Soccer Association backing us up, and we have the means to have a child abuse prevention event because we have No Longer Silenced Movement and we have Child Health.
Our tournament is a one-day event, like we already said. This allows volunteers and victims to play in a soccer game during the day and raise money just so they have the means of coming together and finding hope and feeling confident at the end of the day. The United States is very poorly supporting child abuse because they really don't know how to handle it. But child abuse cost over $124 million each year, and that just ranges from people working with foster children, home visits, and like medical costs.
And these are some of the statistics we have. 80% of all child abuse survivors have at least one psychological disorder. A report of abuse is every 10 seconds. It costs $124 billion annually. 30% of child abuse survivors become abusers themselves. Abuse can range from neglect, physical, emotional, medical, psychological. Survivors are 25% more likely to get pregnant at a young age. And 66% of people who abuse drugs have been abused, and 9 times more likely to pursue a life of crime. What we're going to do is include t-shirts for all the participants and trophies for first, second, and third place, and have concession stands and have an educational presentation of child abuse, because sometimes people in a community don't really know what consists of abuse because they just assume that it's hitting, or if you don't see a bruise then a person's not getting abused. The cost of the field permits, referees, EMTs, t-shirts, concessions, and awards, which we're already working out with Lowell Youth Soccer Association. And with your help, we can educate, we can donate, and we can play.